Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Bettina if you haven't found me before and this is the first time you're stumbling across me, welcome. So I've just finished filming a whole bunch of videos, some classes and some circles for my online yoga studio. And I don't normally do these face to camera ones afterwards, so excuse the hot sweaty mess that I currently am. It is very hot here on the Sunshine Coast in January. But there was something coming up in my classes and I really want to touch on it because it's been coming up everywhere and I feel like that's a sign it needs to be spoken about. And it's this idea of surrender and surrender in motherhood. And the more I think about it, the more not only is it something we have to really accept in motherhood, but in the rest of our lives as well. And so for whatever reason, whatever I'm reading at the minute, surrender seems to be coming up. The advice people are giving me is about surrender. The advice I'm giving other people has been about surrender. And so I just wanted to explore it a little bit with you here. So thank you for joining me in this little conversation. I think it's not something that came easy to me in motherhood. I definitely had to learn my lessons to really surrender to it all. And maybe that's why I'm here talking about it now. But I think it starts right from conception. I think you have to surrender to the process of conception to start with, because we have no control over when or how that happens. So I'm a member of lots of Facebook groups, and some of them are at the moment are about fertility because that's where I'm at. So if you don't know my story, we have 2 beautiful boys, and we've also lost 2 babies in the last year. So we are again in this stage where fertility and conception is on our minds. The common thing you see in these groups or feel, I don't know, I just go into them and I feel like there's so much stress and anxiety around falling pregnant. And I just wonder how that is helpful to the body at all. Like if you think about what your body wants to do, it only wants to bring a child into a life that has space for it and is not stressed out. Like from a survival instinct, when our bodies were stressed, when there was famine or war, that level of anxiety would have stopped us falling pregnant as often because we couldn't care for these babies. Like as an animal, the body does not want to produce babies when there is stress. So focusing on falling pregnant with this focus on the calendar or the clock or whatever you're doing is only going to increase that stress, and kind of it's so counterintuitive to what the process is. And I think a lot of what goes on in those groups is also so focused on the body, like it's only the body that makes a baby. And okay, maybe that's your belief, but can I share with you another perspective that there's so much more that goes into it? Like emotionally, you have to be ready. Spiritually, you have to be ready. You have to make space in your life for a baby. Like, are you working from the moment you get up to the moment you hit the pillow at night? Or is there room in your life physically, in your home for a baby? There's so much space and clearing that needs to be done. And that word, surrender. Surrender to the fact that you don't know when it will happen, that you can't actually control when it will happen. You can do all the temperature checking you like, and it's actually not necessarily going to help you at all. You're better off just surrendering to it, making love as much as you can, focusing on that, focusing on enjoying your life, than you are on fixating on this beautiful thing that we turn into a problem. Instead of it being, we are doing this and we are going to have a baby, and knowing with certainty that it will happen, but we don't know when, we turn it into this, I can't get pregnant, and it's immediately a negative, instead of it being, we're trying, and how fun is this? So it's a bit of a mindset shift, but it's also, I think, that surrender, that embracing surrender right from conception, that we don't know when it's going to happen. And then we get to pregnancy. And so you have to surrender to the fact that your body is no longer your own, surrender to the fact that you don't know what's coming in terms of birth, in terms of what this child will be like. During birth, we have to surrender. So surrendering that wanting to control everything with the mind and being able to actually plan things, to just surrendering that it will happen when it happens. And then the kids come along and we have ideas about when they will sleep, when they will eat, what they will do, how they will be, how they'll behave. And it's just a whole nother lesson on surrendering to what is. And I'm not saying we shouldn't strive for change, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't be putting things in place to really do our best with these kids and teach them the right thing or anything like that. I'm not saying like, ooh, free as a bird, do what you like. But I am saying you have to surrender to the outcome. Like, you can do all you can and you can still end up with, I don't know, a child that licks the walls and bangs his head every 5 minutes. You can't wrap your self-worth and how you feel up in another person. And I think sometimes as mums we do that because we're so emotionally involved in growing these little people. But it really is a process of surrender that at the end of the day, we can only do what we can do. And after that, we have to surrender it to what will be. And finally, in most recent times, is the surrender to losing a baby. And so if you've been following my journey, you know that this is very close to my heart. And I guess it's where I'm at now. I'm trying to surrender to the fact that I know we will have a third baby in our arms, that there is another member of our family, but I have to surrender to the process that I don't know when that will be. And it's a real surrender into, if we fall pregnant again, I don't know that that pregnancy will necessarily be the baby. Perhaps there are more losses in our journey, I don't know. And so I guess I just wanted to tell you that I know how scary surrender feels. I know it feels like not doing anything sometimes, like cracking your heart open and just leaving it. When you want something so much, it feels like the logical thing to do, to focus and to grip and to control and to try as hard as you can. But I think that makes it scarier. I think that makes it more stressful, less enjoyable, and I don't think it changes the outcome. In fact, I would probably argue it makes the outcome worse. So I just want you to know that I'm here with you. I'm putting it out there that I surrender to whatever is happening, trying to walk my talk. Some days it doesn't work, but you know, I'm trying, and surrender to what will be. When our family is complete, I don't know. Will it be complete? Yes, that I know. So you can find certainty in what you want, but I don't think you can find certainty in the when. You can't hold on to what that outcome looks like. I don't know if that's helped you today. I feel like I needed to share that with you, so there it is. If you'd like to email me or contact me at all, please do so. Facebook, Instagram, to shoot me an email, whatever you like. Have a beautiful day. Embrace your surrender, and namaste.